Alright, greetings, Hotep, Bakwaba, bless up. This is a quick video. I could take off my glasses if I wanted to, but I don't want to. This is I don't know, quick video. I am in the midst, and I don't need them on. I'm in the midst of sort of a grieving process. Having been terminated from my job in a very unjust way, and unjustly and unfairly, probably as most people would say when they lose their job. Um, I'm in a process of grieving the loss, and it is a loss. And although there's an element of relief that I'm no longer on the plantation with the abuses that were taking place, um, it just speaks to, for me, what happens in when there's abuse taking place, and when there's intentional harm, acts of intentional harm being perpetrated against other people, and why it's such a difficult, complex type of thing to deal with and address. You have a perpetrator, you have a victim. A perpetrator um, typically gets a pass, and certainly in this society, in this societal system, that's the history and that's the nature of this sort of beast that we all sort of bang against the system. As a perpetrator of acts of abuse, intentional, for the person who experiences it, what gets called into question is your ability to protect yourself and defend yourself. And when and if you are viewed as sort of not being able to do that, and you know that that will happen because you will incur the harm that's coming at you. Somebody swings and you're not successful in blocking it and defending and protecting yourself, then you get the hit. And that's kind of like what happens. And that's a sort of dynamic process that plays itself out in so many different ways in our lives. Now, people who are boxers, they study, they practice, they're encouraged, they're taught how to defend themselves. And, of course, there was a time, and it's still probably available now, places where people go to learn self-defense, how to defend yourself and protect yourself. I had never been involved in any activities like that. Well, as a child, I did. I went to karate class as a child and did it for the time period that I could until we moved again or whatever. And we moved a lot. There was no stability at all. And as a result, many things that I would get started with was always interrupted, and I would have to start over again, or sort of pick up and piece it back together in a new location, a new school, a new neighborhood, a new house, always, kind of constantly that level of instability. And it has certainly shaped and formed my approach to, and my style with managing changes, and my approach to dealing with changes, my approach to projects, sort of knowing or having a sense that the potential is there, that I'm not going to be able to complete it here as I started, because something else is going to come up that's going to take precedence and priority, and that's going to have to go on the back burner. And that's sort of like, the story of my life, and probably the lives of many other black folks, when and if people stop and really look closely at your experiences and what the dynamics behind them were. So why am I saying all of that now? I'm going to get my glass to see how far. It's 5 minutes I've been talking. Why am I saying all this now? um, saying that to say, I started a process of starting over with YouTube, and so making more videos, and with a with an eye and an objective towards being a bit more focused and clear. Many of the YouTube videos that I made under the name of Recovery AA were, attempts at direct communicating with people. I did a lot of videos in response to text messages at Desti.com forum. And so I would read what people said, and then I would make a video response. So, that was challenging because on YouTube, people and YouTubers didn't have the context for the statements that were being made. Only the people at Desti, when I posted it there in response to the words that was text or typed, would know what it was. And so consequently, anyway, there were many of my videos there that, had very little context for a broader community outside of Desti, yet the video was posted in the broader community outside of Desti. And many of those needed to go. Also, just kind of like moving with the energy and working towards a new flow, having gotten terminated from my job, I had at that time, was feeling extremely let down and abandoned by a couple of people who I was relying on and looking to for support in a couple of areas of my life. One of them happened to be the person who was working on me with job stuff and working to sort of retain my job or keep myself safe. And the other person was a person who I was relying on and had started a process of helping me with organizing my written material and organizing it in a way where it was presentable and in a very clean, aesthetic way. Both of those people just sort of dropped dropped out of my life, or dropped the reins that that connected us, just dropped the cords that connected us, and I kind of was left standing alone holding the bag. And I got terminated from my job and lost the momentum that I had picked up with my documenting, my writing stuff. And so then I'm in a period of sort of regrouping from that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And what I've learned from it still, is something that I've heard before and at times experienced, yet it's just much more clearer now in terms of my inability. I'll just say I won't say our, but my inability certainly to feel safe with other black people, to trust that we're going to help each other, because we don't and we won't. And people do, and they have whatever reasons that they choose, yet I know for me, it doesn't appear that people are able to get and stay connected with me for any length of time. And so I'm kind of coming to terms with that and developing and working a plan for sort of going solo and being on my own. And I have to be myself, I have to be me, I have to be where I am in any given time. So there are times when I may make a video, well, I'll be expressing sadness, frustration, anger, fear, and then there are times when there's be joy. And then there's times when it's just teaching or sharing some things that I've come to know. That's who I am. That's how I am. That's what I do. And, hopefully people will find something useful from it. And I'll keep working to clean up my aesthetics. My aesthetic can be aesthetically clear. I'm going to stop. It's probably over 10 minutes.